when we take a look at modernity, what we see is a revival of ancient gods. So in Rome, for example, there was the goddess Libertas. Libertas actually had her own Roman temple, and it was constructed on Aventine Hill in 238 BC. The goddess of liberty was worshipped by the ancient Romans. The goddess of liberty was worshipped, so was the goddess of democracy. Remember, we talked about Democratia, who was the Greek goddess of democracy. These are gods. Today we have the same thing. Nothing has changed. Everything continues on the same trajectory, except for the fact that we had a brief respite during this time of Christian monarchy, perhaps out of God's mercy, to slow down the train. But things are now accelerating again, because now we have America, we have the West, that is all rooted. Listen to me, friends. The West, the modern Western ideals of democracy and liberty, these are not rooted in the Bible. These are rooted in ancient Greco-Roman philosophies. These are rooted in goddess worship. These are rooted in pagan ideals. So the idea of liberty, freedom for the slaves, so to speak, this was a goddess that was worshipped in Rome. Now this goddess Libertas is not Jesus. She's not God, but she is an idol to an ideal that the Romans loved. They loved the idea of having their own liberty. Forget God. They don't need God for this. They'll have their own liberty. And it's a goddess. They represent her as a goddess. They simply make a statue for themselves. Yes, and she represents and embodies liberty. So now they have liberty. Now they can have liberty without having to go up to the Great Spirit in the sky and to deal with him or have to repent of any sins, forget any of that. We just simply have an idol that we can, offer our child to, or offer food to, or pray to, and she'll bring us liberty, and she'll provide liberty. So the Statue of Liberty in New York is a modern homage to the ancient goddess Libertas. It is the same exact thing. We see, by the way, this concept all over the place as we see the revolutions brewing in the 1700s. In the 1700s, we finally have the Renaissance giving rise to revolt against Christian monarchy. Remember, Christian monarchy is the target of revolution. In France, in America, the target, the bullseye, is placed upon the monarchies. It is not placed upon something else. It is placed specifically upon Christian monarchy. Whenever the American revolutionaries were shooting British Christians, they were fighting against Christian monarchy to establish a new form of liberty. But this new form is actually an old form. It's the form that was created in the Greco-Roman world. So here we have a picture of Marianne. Marianne is the goddess of liberty, the national personification of France. And here you have a very popular image, Liberty Leading the People, by Eugene Delacroix from 1830. This original hangs in the Louvre. But what you may not know is that during the French Revolution, Notre Dame, you've heard of this, no doubt, the cathedral in Paris, was turned into a temple of reason, and for a time, Lady Liberty replaced the Virgin Mary on several altars. This was very revealing. This was a rejection of Mary and Jesus. This was a rejection of monarchy. This was an appeal to man. This was a humanistic revolution. This was an appeal to reason. This was a movement away from faith towards reason. And this, of course, you need to see that the target was Christian monarchy. The target were the ideals espoused in the Bible. In Britain, we have something very similar. And by the way, you can literally find this in virtually every country. Every country has a national personification, usually a woman. In this case, Britannia. You can see her holding a nice cup here with a beast next to her. And she is the British version of this lady who brings liberty. Her name, Britannia. But by the way, Britannia was the Roman name for Britain way, way, way back. That name goes way back. But Britannia is the name of the British version. New Zealand has their own, Zealandia. I mean, you can go through and to see all of the different versions. But my point is that the personification of liberty, the personification of freedom, is always a woman, not Jesus. Okay? It's not Jesus. It's not Jesus. It's a woman. And what do you do for this woman? What are you supposed to do for this woman? Well, look in the picture, you can see. They're killing for her. You see, liberty, the personification of liberty, requires blood. Now, why is that the case? Because, friends, liberty is a God. And gods require blood. If you want liberty, the way America presents liberty, you must kill. That is why American liberty is not a gift from God. Unless you believe that God requires you to kill for his gifts,